Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of glennzb TV, the show that puts glennzb into your virtual headset. Yes, I'm bringing New Zealand to the world, and the world to New Zealand. And yes, it's Wednesday here. It's still Tuesday in flood-stricken Texas. And Louisiana, for that matter. Don't worry, the Trumps have arrived. The Trumps are there. They'll fix everything. And I think, is this the most casually dressed we've ever seen Melania? I mean, I don't really understand why they had to wear hats everywhere they went. Even when they were inside, they were wearing hats. That's a bit confusing for me. In fact, she sort of looks like she's trying to disguise her identity. You know, like when people are on the run. And they quickly put on a cap and dark glasses. We know it's you, Melania, because you're there with him. We know it's you. You can't fool us. That's her place. Signing interpreters, though, the other thing that's come out of this disaster, of course, as with any disaster, is the signing interpreter has potentially they can reach celebrity status, and they're not really supposed to. Like, I get that animated facial expressions are all part of it, but sometimes, I don't know, you just take over a bit. Here's the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner. But we're not looking at him, we're looking at this massive guy. So he's standing up, but this guy is huge, and he's also on the wrong side. That's the attention-grabbing left-hand side. That's not the place for signing interpreters. Okay? This is more the power balance you want. I mean, this guy, he's so big he doesn't even fit in the shot, and she's on the correct side there, just minding her own business, imparting information, and you know, Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, he knows what it's all about, because obviously for obvious reasons he has to do his speeches sitting down, so his signing guy sits down as well. You don't see him standing up or carrying a bunch of balloons or letting off fireworks or confetti cannons, do you? No, he's there doing a job. So yeah, figure it out next time, please. Get on the correct side of Sylvester Turner. Perhaps squat down a bit. Maybe kneel. That's all I'm saying. Meanwhile, talking about the way things look. Robert Kelley. He's back. The Pusan University's Korean studies specialist. The go-to guy for when North Korea lets off missiles. Yes, you remember him. That's right. What's wrong with this picture? No kids. Because this is the guy who had the baby and the toddler, both Russian, and then the wife, but everybody thought that she was the nanny because everybody's a bit racist and she's Asian. Remember? That was funny. He's not nearly so interesting when he just goes on there and talks about North Korea, is he? Yeah, and you're just hoping that somebody's going to come in that door, and then they don't. Same office, though. Deja vu day. Finally, what would it take to convince you to stay in a burning building? We've got a bit of frustration from fire officials after a number of Auckland hotel guests refused to evacuate during a fire. 10 fire trucks and around 50 firefighters were called to the Pullman Hotel last night after a small electrical fire broke out on the 10th floor. So, in spite of the fact that smoke was seen billowing through the upper levels of the building before the fire was put out, more than 100 guests promptly left the hotel. Some decided to just stay where they are. There were no injuries. Guests returned to the hotel in around 90 minutes. Here's what I'm thinking. Of course, it was the final episode of Game of Thrones, season 7 of Game of Thrones. It came out Monday night here our time, and it was quite a long episode, and I feel like people were just finishing that off probably in their rooms on Netflix. No, it's not on Netflix, it's HBO, but whatever. Neon. That's what we use here in New Zealand to watch that one. So they just had it dialed up on them, and it was very. It was like the televisual equivalent of a page turner. You couldn't leave halfway through. You had to know how it ended up. And you're not going anywhere, even if the building's burning down around you. Some things are just that important. And then, for it to finish suddenly, and for you to realise that they'd done a sort of a Hunger Games / Harry Potter / Matrix trilogy scenario, where they'd literally just cut the final series in half so they can come back with a season 8, which they initially told us what that wasn't going to be, that this was going to be the last season. Kind of an anticlimax. Anyway, I've got off topic there somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. Probably around the time that I brought up Game of Thrones, to be honest. I am glennzb. Thank you so much for having me in your virtual headset. Thank you for staying in whatever burning building that you are to finish watching this. I'll see you back here again tomorrow.